Hello and welcome to the Banker's Tech Talk video series looking at the developments in the fintech world. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy and Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Mark Rollins, Vice President, Product Management at Seal Software, which uses artificial intelligence in contract and document analytics. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
So can you tell me a little bit about what Seal Software does?
Sure. So the concept of Seal is around contract discovery and analytics. So what does that actually mean? So we were established 7 years ago. We're registered in the UK. If we take the actual Seal word, it's actually an acronym for what we do. So if we take the S, that's search. So we search your environment and find all of this unstructured content and bring it into this single source of the truth. So you have this umbrella across all of your sort of unstructured islands of data that reside within your organization. Then we have extract. So then from that, we then surface all of this rich information from that unstructured information, from creating a searchable PDF, creating a search index. So you can effectively now search across all of your contracts. And then the key thing is actually extracting all of the key information, start dates, contract clauses, payment terms, all of that rich information that is extracted through the AI platform that we layer on the top. Then we have the analyze. So obviously in this ever-changing world, people need to ask new questions of their information. So we provide this veneer across the platform that allows business users to now ask questions of their data using that AI platform. And then from there, we believe that every business needs to learn from what they've actually extracted. So as we negotiate contracts and executive documents, how do we actually learn from those and put that back into that learning system?
Okay, and how does it really help in terms of like management and you know, improving decision making? And then also, what kind of pain points are you trying to solve specifically for banks?
The key thing here is now we have visibility, okay? So a lot of businesses today have no visibility. So now we have visibility, we can now make some informed decisions about our business. If we take some of the simple questions, what contracts have auto-renewal, okay? Many companies can't even answer those kind of questions around their contract estate. Do we have payment terms? Do we have things where we have rebates? Do we have incremental price increases that we need to get from our suppliers and our vendors? So those kind of simple questions sort of becomes the sort of core of what people are looking to. And then if we expand that out into the financial world, if we take some of our financial customers that we have today, they are very complex in terms of what they have. They have 400 plus types of document that they're trying to deal with. They have multiple processes. They have multiple stakeholders who are looking to ascertain value from this. And then you have obviously the Federal Reserve that are shining the light on this business. There are things around QFC documents, ISDAs, and then the standards. IRS 15, those kind of standards which they're trying to, and at the end of it, these businesses then drive value from that internal to their internal customers, but also externally provide things like living will and resolution plans to the authorities based on all of this unstructured data now being effectively becoming alive as the new digital fuel for their business.
Okay, and a lot of people are talking about smart contracts, but I know that you've sort of coined a new term, which is intelligent contracts. What exactly does that mean?
So we've taken the premise of taking all of this knowledge of blockchain, smart contracts. So this is not a case of smart contracts v intelligent. What we're doing is looking at taking the best of breed of all of that. So the key thing that we say, and as I talked about earlier, is learning from this information. So there are some key differences in terms of around what we see as intelligent contracting. So we still have the Seal platform, but then from there we enable then people to use effectively a private blockchain. So those users can then subscribe to that, and then the relevant contracting parties that can negotiate on that private blockchain. The way we look at that is we store the data in terms of pointers on the blockchain, but actually leverage the data outside of the chain. So we can do things like artificial intelligence. So once we've now built this ecosystem of intelligent contracting, we can start to learn from that. Something called swarm learning. So we can take the best of all of this data and create additional models that we then can distribute through things like our Seal marketplace. a lot of our customers are asking us, well, what's best practice? What are other customers doing? So I think those walls are coming down between these large financial institutes. Okay, what are our competitors doing? Because they're all trying to do some very common things. So why don't we all go in that direction together?
Okay, and another big thing that's coming in later this year, in May, is the General Data Protection Regulation. How will that actually affect contracts?
So I think it's going to affect contracts massively. So it's all around, obviously, data protection. And I think people are just looking at a very sort of a thin layer at the top, things around data ownership, data breach, the processes. But it goes a lot deeper than that. Does the vendor have business continuity? What kind of passwords do they do? How strong are they? Things like who has access to the data. And we've actually built with one of our partners something called the GDPR Insight Pack, which actually surfaces 100+ pieces of information that you may choose not to use, but it actually then provides value across all of those different use cases that you can leverage if required.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.